Hey guys, and welcome to a Fallout 4 review. I hope you're all looking forward to it. If you're wondering why the gameplay in the background, that I'm putting in the background, isn't from the beginning of the game, two reasons. One, don't want to start a new save game, even though I know I could. And two, I think a lot of people are going to be showing the beginning of the game, so kind of wanted to show a bit of something else. It's not, there are no spoilers in it, it's like just one mission. It's whatever. But yeah. So let's get right into it with, let's talk about the graphics. So it looks really good on PC. Ultra settings, amazing. Personally, I think that I think there were a lot of fears when screenshots were released that it wasn't going to look very good on PC because the screenshots were like on low settings, whatever. But I think those fears have sort of been pacified now, which is good. The other thing about the graphics is the low, medium, and ultra settings. That's about it. I think there aren't really many other choices than that, which is kind of annoying. I wish they gave us more customability, and they still have a launcher, which is kind of weird. I never really got why Fallout does that, but what are you gonna do? I mean, that's the thing. They have the launcher for the game. That's where you change the settings, but they have a borderless window mode, which is nice. I don't think they had in the previous games, and I just like borderless window mode. I wish more games would have one. And I think that's it for the graphics. Let's get into the story. So, if you don't know about the story, it just takes place in Boston. I haven't played through that much of the story, surprisingly, but I played for like, let's say about 10 hours. So I wanted to play for a while before I really thought I could speak to the story. But the story, from what I've seen so far, is really good. Obviously, you have the main protagonist voice acted, which is I thought I was going to be against it, but actually it does allow there to be much more emotional depth to your character, which is nice. Although the way they went with the dialogue, it doesn't seem like you have much choice, or from my experience, it doesn't feel like you have much choice, other than sometimes being able to add a sarcastic comment now and then. But that's about it, and that kind of sucks. But it's still really fun to play through. And now I guess the thing is not playability, replayability, because with a Fallout game, a lot of it is the fact that it's open world and it's replayable, and I think this one really shows that because in 10 hours I haven't gotten that far in the story because there's so much else to just do, just exploring the world, and I haven't even explored it close to a quarter of it. Another fear people had going into this was the map size. Now, obviously, they advertised as saying it's as big as Skyrim. Now, later on, I think somebody leaked it, but like they said they could run from one side of the map to the other in like, I forget what it was, maybe like half an hour. And I'm sure that's true, but the thing is, I still think map-wise it's as big as Skyrim, if not bigger, because with Skyrim that was very open and there are a lot of like big open areas and mountains that you have to go around. In this, you can really explore almost everything, and it's very urban, and there are a lot of buildings to go inside of, a lot of wreckage, and there's much more detail in the world, and it's much more explorable in Skyrim, where it's like, yeah, you have caves here and there that you can go into, but mostly open world is boring. With this, the open world is really fun to be in, and there's a lot of little nooks and crannies you can find yourself in. So I think that's really good. And obviously there are quests everywhere, which is awesome. Also, let's get into the item upgrade thing. The upgradable items is really good because I really do like the system they use. It's similar to how they wanted mods to be, except there's more depth put into it. And I think it really works in the game's favor because guns can come with mods on them, and they usually do. So you can basically buy guns with the mods you want if you're not able to make the mods. I'm pretty sure you're able to transfer mods from one gun to another, assuming they're the same, like, gun type, which is really cool. Also, there are a bunch of really interesting weapons they have in this game that they have in other ones. For example, they have a syringe gun, which is really cool. And also, a lot of the guns seem more Fallout-y, which is kind of weird to say, because, it's obviously the newest one, but, like, opposed to the other one where, for weaponry, you're using kind of old guns that you found. In this one, it's really like you're DIYing these guns, you're building them, you're basically scavenging parts and putting them together, which is what I would assume playing it would be like. The only weird thing is that you start off with like a kind of normal, I mean, you don't start off with that, but like if you were to build a gun, usually the base is kind of normal, but that's not always true, because actually one I think it's like a pipe pistol. A lot of the guns actually aren't guns now that I think about it. Like, a lot of them are just like, sort of like pipe weapons, but then they're upgraded. And that's really cool. I haven't really looked into the melee system, but the guns are really fun. And there's a lot of depth there, and I'm really interested in going deeper into it. But yeah, I definitely love the guns. Also, let's get into bugs. So far I've noticed one huge bug, but I think it might just be for me and a couple other people. I cannot hear like half of the voice acting. It doesn't play and the mouth don't move, and that's a serious problem. Luckily, subtitles will still work, so I can just turn those on and I'll be fine. But it really takes away from the gameplay factor. But it should be noted, I do have several other friends who have the game, and none of them have experienced other than me. I found a couple people on forums who have experienced a similar thing to me, so I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this experience, but I'm pretty sure it's not that common. Also, it should be noted, I did pre-download the game, and none of my friends did. None of my friends did, and yet I got the problem. So that might have been a problem for pre-downloading. So you know, what are you gonna do? You probably won't have to deal with that, but just wanted you to know. Other than that, there aren't that many bugs in the game that I can notice. Load times can be kind of slow, but that's less of a bug and more of just probably a graphics thing, because it's loading a huge world when you go into the outworld or whatever you want to call it. And then I think that's about it for like really bad bugs. Sometimes I'm totally blanking on the name. I want to say it's either nav. I think it's nav mesh, but there are areas it's hard to shoot through things. Like there will be areas where it looks like you have a very clear shot, but when you shoot it, you'll hit air, and that's a serious problem because with something when they really upgrade the graphics like they did, they need to upgrade these nav meshes. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called now. 55% sure. You need to upgrade these so that you're able to shoot around these things, and I think that's just a minor problem. Also, there are a couple problems with that sort of bullets, like bullet holes in walls in general, where like if you shoot a wall, the bullet color won't really match, but that's more of a small gripe than anything. And obviously, so I'm not really going to include it here because I think some people don't like to hear about mods when they watch a review, but mods will be around to fix a lot of those bugs, or not really bugs, but a lot of those things later, I am sure, but you can't really rely on them. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's it for my Fallout 4 preview, review, or GView, whatever you want to call it. I'm running out of gameplay footage, so yeah, I'll see you guys next